Today's video is going to be a strange one. I mean, just look at this tank. It's special, isn't it? So, this vehicle's requested in the comments section of the last War Thunder video that I made, and you know what this tank is. I think everyone does at this point, so it doesn't really need an introduction. It's obviously the Rogo. To begin, we'll look at ammo types. So, there are two guns. One's a 70mm and one's a 37mm. The 70mm you only ever need to use heat rounds because, well, the AP rounds only have 21 mils of pen, which is just not good enough. You just cannot kill anything with it unless it were completely unarmoured. So you always use the heat round, which has 80mm of pen, which is enough to kill anything at the battle rating 1.3. As for the 37mm gun, there's only one round that you can actually use for it, which is an APHE round, which penetrates 34mm of armour. 34mm of armour is not a bad amount of pen for a secondary weapon, especially at battle rating 1.3. When looking at the armour on this tank, I can't think of a tank that can't kill it at this battle rating. Note that this thing's supposed to be a heavy tank, and it's supposed to be able to take fire. The only advantage it has is that one crew member is sat behind the engine at the back of the tank, meaning that if you do lose a crew member, you've essentially got a crew member to replace whoever dies in the front, without actually having to go to a point and do the crew replenishment thing. So, when we're getting into this game, I can show you the rather unique gameplay you'll get with the Rogo. I can't think of another vehicle that's quite like this. There's ones that are similar, but not quite the same. The 70mm gun is a weapon that can only be used in short-range engagements or as an indirect fire weapon, whereas the 37mm gun can be used for long, more accurate fire, though it doesn't have a great pen, but at this tier you do come up against some things which can be quite easily penned even with a low pen weapon like this 37. Now, the 70mm gun has a muzzle velocity of 200 meters per second, whereas the 37 has a muzzle velocity of 557 meters per second. So that means that the 70mm gun has a lower muzzle velocity than the gun that the Sturmpanzer has, or the gun that the Brombar has. As you can see, the two-gun setup has a really high rate of fire, which nicely patches over my awful aim at this guy who was pretty well hidden in the bush. When I was playing the game I didn't actually see him until he rammed me. I can make quick work of any of these tanks using the 70mm gun. Including the B1 BIS, which usually is a pain for any tank at this BR to kill, especially a Japanese tank. The 80mm of pen on a 70mm gun is just too much for anything at this tier to handle. However, you can see that 37mm really struggles to pen much. However, due to it firing an APHE round, it does a lot of damage if it pens. Note this shot here, as I hit the LVT, it seems that you have about a 100% chance of breaking its hull when you shoot it. I've never hit it and not instantly killed it with a 70mm gun, and with the LVT being quite a common vehicle at this tier, you'll come up against them a lot, so you'll get a lot of chances to shoot them if you're using this vehicle. So I end up dying here. However, you can see I take a lot of shots, so even though they're penning almost everything, with the crew member in the back keeping us alive, you can replace the crew in the front if they were to die, which obviously they are here. When you're actually fighting this vehicle, one of the biggest things you'll notice is it is really slow. I'm sure if you've watched my previous videos you know I'm not a fan of slow vehicles, and it's not quite as slow as some other vehicles. It's still faster than a Black Prince, it's still faster than a Mouse, but it is slow. It really is slow, and with it being slow, you do expect good survivability, and the survivability on this is very moderate, so you have to be careful while also being slow. It's quite hard. A couple other things to note. This vehicle has a really low repair cost, which is really nice, so you can run this vehicle and make quite a bit of SL from it really. Because it's got that premium bonus on it, even though it's not that much because it's a low battle rating, you're not losing much from playing it, and generally you probably should do pretty well. If you're good at the game, you'll probably be good in this thing once you got used to this massive drop. In fact, here, I'll leave in a clip of me firing across the map, and you can watch the shell fly across. So as you can see, that shell took ages to travel across the map, and if you like sniping, you're not going to like that unless you like sniping people in a completely indirect manner, in which I suppose this would be a great vehicle for you. It would be probably the best indirect fire weapon in that regard, as long as you can actually hit the things that you can't see over the hill. As you can see, the 37mm gun is a much better long-range weapon. Of course, when you compare it like I'm showing you now, you kind of realise how ineffective this thing is at range, because of course the 37mm is firing an APHE that over distance barely pens anything at all. So I thought I'd show another game showing that the Drogo can generally beat everything, except for one single tank that I just never seem to kill. First two kills were easy, with one-shotting both of them, the first shot from the 70 and the second from the 37. However, when we come against the B1 Ter, which is a 2.3 premium vehicle, I can't even pen it from the side. And you've got to remember, I have 80mm a pen, it's quite a lot. After that, we knock out tanks one by one. And then we're ended by shots from the side. So this tank costs 1,370 golden eagles, which isn't too bad for a premium vehicle. However, for a battle rating 1 tank that can't really be used to grind, it's not so great. As for other tanks that can go in a lineup with it, you have the Kini, the Chiha, the Type 94, the Kami, the Hago, and the Type 89B. And for aircraft, you don't really have any good close-to-air support, but you can take a good fighter like an A5 M4 or the Ki-27. So, what are my overall thoughts on this tank? I think it's fair to say this thing's a pretty good vehicle. It has a lot of flaws, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because in the end this vehicle is fun. It's quite a unique experience. Unlike a lot of other vehicles, you wouldn't just buy this for the grind, you'd buy this just to have fun. It really is fun. I do have a problem with speed being slow, its armor being low. I do like its survivability, though, even though its armor's bad, due to the guy being sat in the back. The main gun's quite nice if you're fighting close up, and also the 37's not too bad at taking out lightly armoured vehicles at longer ranges. Shooting over hills is quite easy with the 70mm gun, and shooting over even smaller, closer bits of cover like a rock or something like that, even that works, because it drops so much. So where are we going to put this on the tank leaderboard? I don't think it can go at the top, because the Panzer 3N's really good. However, I think it can go above the Porsche Tiger, and of course the Black Prince. So it's a pretty good spot to have. To say it's... how do I put this? How do I put this nicely? It's a bit strange. It really is a bit strange. Either way, I quite like it. It really epitomizes what the Japanese tree is about. It's about weird vehicles, and it's really the pinnacle of that. So, I like it a lot. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've changed it around a little bit. I had to, because this thing can't actually be down-tiered, so I thought I would swap it around like I have. So, I'd like to see what you think about this way of doing it. Is it better this way? Is it worse? Tell me in the comments. Remember, the first person to comment the vehicle they want to see in the next video, we'll have a video made on it. Suggest other videos you want to see. You know, it doesn't have to be War Thunder related, it can be something else. And if you're new here, make sure to follow me on Twitch, that's my main platform, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.